Good morning to you, good morning. Monday, 16th of January 2023. There's a reason my chair is upside down in the front here. It's been a windy, blustery, wet night and it's set to continue that way all day. So we're going to find some things to do that don't involve being out in the garden and might involve making firewood. And I asked Reese what the weather forecast is, and he said, I'm sitting in front of the fire. Now, I'm hung up a little bit because the shop didn't have, focus sort of going, all of the stared noses that I wanted. But what I do need is a trim piece to go along the back of each tread, just to trap the vinyl and to make it neat and tidy. And that is going to involve cutting wood. I've got a plan. I know what I'm doing. Well, you know, loosely. So I'm going to put my boots on and go and cut some oak to make some trim pieces. Well, let's go out into the magic fairyland that we call the barn. Yeah, those lights, they got enough sunlight yesterday that they're still on this morning, but let's have a look. I'm not going to show you my saw table because I've taken all the safety guards off and I don't agree with showing dangerous tricks. But I've got a pile of oak. I've measured what I want. I want 66 centimetre inch by quarter strips. So I'm going to make some noise and cut some pieces. Well, there's the first piece. I will run a bead on it so it isn't square edges, and so I pick up the second piece of timber, which is quite an interesting piece, but look at this great big knot that runs on an angle through the piece. If I cut that into inch by quarter inch strips, it's not going to have any strength. So we'll chuck that to one side. Well, I've cut one piece, 6 more to cut. Time for tea. And today's Monday, which means that yesterday was Sunday. Now, I don't know what you all do on your Sundays. Some of you I probably don't want to know. But if you mix with elderly, very Catholic ladies in the middle of France, they like to give you little cards. So, a couple of weeks ago, Madame Albirola was very pleased with herself because she'd found one in English. A happy Christmas. May God fill you with his love and bestow his blessings on your works and keep you in his divine grace. That, I don't know what you would call that, whether you would call it a Christmas card or a bookmark or whatever. But if you know very elderly French Catholic ladies, they will all possess a Bible and a missal. And if you ever dare to ask an elderly Catholic French lady if you can borrow her missal, she will be very, very pleased to let you. But mind how you pick it up, because as you pick it up and you start looking for the through the calendar in the missal, trying to find the right day of the year, you get showers of these things that drop out all over the floor if you're not careful. Well, she also gave me this card. Now, I know some of you are going to say, oh dear, praying to the Virgin Mary. Well, yeah, the word prayer sometimes means different things to different people. And, you know, she meant well when she gave this to me. So let's just take it for what it is. In the midst of thy glory, O Holy Virgin, do not forget the sorrow of earth. Cast a look of compassion on those who suffer, on those who struggle against difficulties and who taste continually the bitterness of this life. Have pity on those who are separated from their friends. Why is it? Yeah, separated from their friends. Do you mind? I'm trying to do something. Thank you. On those who are sad of heart, increase our faith. Cast a look of compassion on those who love and on the anxious souls. Have pity on those who weep and on those who pray. Give to all peace, give to all hope and peace. Well, there we are. That's the sort of thing that if you mix with elderly French Catholic ladies, they will put in your hand on a Sunday morning. Well, the sun's come out, still a bit blustery, but, you know, there we are. 7. What these need now is just a quick run over with a plane, and then I'll run a moulding along the top side. What we need to remember is I started with a beam that was 13 feet, 14 feet long and 8-inch roughly square. You might think that's an awful waste, but of course the beam was being cut up for firewood. So no, it's not a waste. And where else are you going to get mouldings made out of 300-year-old timber? Now, there is a bloke I watch on YouTube who will film 30 minutes of drilling holes in things. Yeah, okay. I'm just drilling holes in these, one in the middle, one at each end. That's going to be countersunk. When those holes are drilled, I'll give it a quick once over with some sandpaper, and then we'll be varnishing. And to varnish those trim strips, I'm going to be using vernis varnish for furniture and woodwork. And we can see it's high resistance to knocks. 2 hours to dry between coats, and it's formulated anti-goutte, so it's supposed not to drip. This particular one is not coloured at all, so the colour of the wood will show through quite nicely. So that's my next job. I'm sure no one needs to watch me use a brush. 30 minutes before you can touch, 2 hours between coats.